Good afternoon and welcome to Fired Up. I'm your host for the show, Bob Irwin, broadcasting from Rigel Studios here in Las Vegas, Nevada. This show is about guns, related politics, and self-defense issues. Fired Up is on our website, firedupwithbobirwin.com. A new show is posted every Thursday around 5 p.m. Pacific time. New shows also appear on YouTube and numerous other media. The audio feed is rebroadcast for radio listeners Saturdays at noon on the Nevada Talk Network. Check out KELY1230.com for a station in your area. Questions and comments can be directed to me at my email, bob@firedupmail.com. That's bob@firedupmail.com. Or leave a message on my office recorder, which is 702-257-1060. Once again, 702-257-1060. If you leave contact information, we'll respond by email, text, or telephone. Questions to my guests will be forwarded, or Attorney Don Green is on today. He'll give you his own contact information in just a few minutes. There are several hundred defensive uses of firearms every week in the United States, rarely covered by any mainstream media. So we always present a few of those for listeners' education. Most are good shootings. Some are questionable. Sometimes they're just bad shootings. But we go through and pick out the ones we like. There are 300 or so firearm use of self-defense every week in the United States. And I have a number of sources, and I pick out some that are interesting or unusual. So if you own a firearm or carry a firearm, it'll give you some idea. The idea is you can put yourself in the situation and see what you could have done or would have done had you been that person. The incidents we use are as reported. We do as policy eliminate the names of the players involved, that is the shooters and the shootees. We generally leave the attorney's names and the police officers' names in. My guest today is Nevada and California firearms attorney, Donald J. Green. Don, if you'd introduce yourself, please.
Okay, thank you. Again, my name is Don Green, and I'm a lawyer in California and Nevada. This is my 36th year of practice. Seems like yesterday. Anyway, for your viewers and listeners, the emphasis of my practice deals with firearms. Everything from trying to resolve failed background checks to appearances before administrative agencies for federal firearms licensees, private sellers, representation of private sellers in firearms related cases, representation before the ATF, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, the FBI, representing people whose weapons are stolen, we're now representing people who, in a very high caliber rifle, which is now somehow missing. So we also do legislative work, testifying before administrative committees, representing federal firearms licensees and other interested parties before legislative committees. We're also involved in litigation, more than likely here in Nevada coming up in the next several months, and currently consulting in litigation in California. You'll be able to see my website in just a few minutes, but my direct cellular, 24 hours a day, 702-409-8239. Thanks, Bob.
Okay. This first story comes to us from Fox 31 TV in Denver. A reporter named Eric Ruby reported on the 5th of this month from this broadcast, it's about a week ago, that a woman shot a man during an attempted robbery in Commerce City late Sunday morning. The Commerce City Police Department says about 11:30 a.m. officers responded to the 14,700 block of East 104th Avenue. That sounds picturesque, doesn't it? The area is home to the Aspen Hills condominium complex. When officers arrived, they met a woman who said she was a realtor and was conducting an open house at the residence. You know where this is going. The woman told the police department a male in his late 20s or early 30s entered the home, threatened her with a knife, and demanded she give him some of her possessions. The woman then retrieved a handgun and shot one round at the suspect. Police say it is unknown whether the man was struck by the projectile. The subject fled the area in an unknown direction. The woman was taken to a local hospital for treatment of injuries that are not considered life-threatening. The Commerce City Police Department did not describe the woman's injuries. The officers searched the area but were unable to find the suspect. Their investigation obviously is ongoing, as this just happened at the time this is being broadcast. All of us know somebody who works in the realty business. I really can't count the number of stories I've heard about female realtors being attacked and murdered or raped. Male realtors are often victims of such crimes also. Realtors can control meeting clients for normal showings and avoid hours of darkness or bring some others with them for security. An open house really can't be controlled. Criminals arrive, wait till no other clients are there, and lock you in with them. Sometimes they strike quickly and are gone. Fortunately, this realtor had the good sense to be carrying her firearm. Clearly, that precautions saved her life. This is a be prepared warning. And we don't know I don't know the laws in the local jurisdiction in Colorado, whether she could be legally carrying or not. She's in a residence she's in control of, so I would think that she could legally carry, even if, she's representing the owner there. Certainly didn't have the owner objecting to her carrying her gun. As I said at the outset, we all know somebody involved in real estate, and this is a constant problem that you can control who you meet at 3 in the morning and just not go. But if you're on an open house, you're stuck. So there's a guy wandering around the property outside, looking around, looking at the backyard. You're going to call the cops? No, he probably is looking to buy the house, and that's why he's there. So it's a death trap. Carry a gun. Mr. Green.
Yes, Bob, you and I were speaking just before the show started, and there is a proliferation of television shows, reality shows, where these people are flipping houses, and they're buying the houses, and they're repairing them, and then almost invariably at the end of the show, they show a real estate agent coming in. She's got cookies, she's got drinks, soft drinks, and a big sign outside which says open house. Open house means open invitation. So, and all of your stories, this segment, all of your stories deal with preparation by the shooter, preparation by the business owner or the homeowner, or in this case, the real estate agent. I presume that she called 911. First thing she should have done, she did. Second, she had pre-planning. I'm going to carry my firearm. I'm either licensed to carry it, or there's a Colorado law. In Nevada, she would be, as you said, she is representing the owner. She's in a residence. She can have that weapon in that place unless she's otherwise prohibited by some other law. So she's got pre-planning. Okay, female in the residence alone. Now, I understand that the firearm does provide some comfort, but when you've got several people who are storming that particular house, they want to steal what's inside, everything from the copper pipes to the appliances which are in there, or, as you said, her personal possessions. So, again, she's planning for an eventuality, and she did the right thing, straight through. Good shooting, pre-planning, training. We cannot emphasize that enough. When you are at the gun shows, we always tell people you've got to go into training. No matter whether if you got your CCW, go for additional training. Like, for example, here's a plug for CCW Maggie. She actually has a facility where it's like the interior of a house, for which you can show. She shows you how to maintain your posture inside the house, where to seek refuge in the house. So good shooting, and I attribute this to training.
Yeah. Being prepared. It's there's no substitute, and I would encourage everybody that works in real estate knows this problem, and it happens over and over again. The second report comes from the Los Alamos Reporter. This was reported on the last day of July, 7/31/19. The New Mexico State Police responded to a previous morning's shooting at Mike's Mini Mart gas station in Velarde. The initial investigation shows officers responded to a burglary in progress at about 5:30 in the morning. When they arrived at the original story said at approximately 5:29 a.m. You know, I love police reports. When they arrived at the scene, they encountered the owner of the gas station. The business owner, who lives on the property, says he heard the alarm sounding from his gas station and went to investigate. When he arrived at his business, he apparently entered and found a male suspect. He confronted the suspect. That suspect pointed an object at the business owner, which he presumed to be a gun. I guess it was just early morning and couldn't quite see, or the lights weren't fully on. Anyway, he presumed it was a gun. The business owner then fired his handgun at the intruder. It is unknown if the male subject was hit. The business owner retreated outside the gas station and waited for the state police officers to arrive. That all seems good. Officers reviewing the surveillance video discovered there were two men who had broken into the gas station. Both had escaped the scene through a skylight on the roof. The New Mexico State Police Crime Scene Unit assisted in its ongoing investigation, and no other information is available. Anyone with information on this incident is asked to contact the New Mexico State Police, Officer Espanola at 505-753-2277. Click option 1. This is just a case that's full of things you should learn. It's certainly reasonable to enter the gas station to be sure if the alarm is valid. I understand doing that. Business owners all the time come, their alarm's going off, and they creep in to see if or look at the door locks. That is kind of standard procedure. It's also extremely dangerous. It turns out that in this case, it was a high-risk error. If time allows, let the police handle the possible burglary, especially when video recording is in action. And he knows, he's got cameras all over it, that these guys are not, they're going to be seen. They're very unlikely to escape justice. The investigation shows there are two suspects and possibly a third waiting in a getaway vehicle because they drove away almost immediately. Were they armed, both of them? This is very likely that they were armed because we're talking about very rural New Mexico. The business owner here is courageous and extremely lucky. That's it, Don.
I agree.
Your show.
I agree. This business owner, even though he lives on the property, he should have waited for the police for the points that you make. Let's look at it from the legal point of the shooting. Let's transfer this case to San Jose, California.
Yeah.
And the intruders who are going in are homeless, seeking shelter from the rain. And the business owner goes into his mini mart just outside that big freeway before you get downtown San Jose, where I always get lost. And it's 5:30 in the morning. You live in the premises at the mini mart, and you either present your weapon or you fire it at one of these suspects, and maybe he's holding out a tin can, which you can't tell, and that's what he wants you to put a couple of dollars or some pennies in. You mistake it for a weapon, and it's really a mistake, but you didn't know that at the time. You may be going to jail for something which, for something in another state might be, like in New Mexico, he might not be facing charges. In Nevada, he might not be facing charges. But in California, you might be, because you don't know who the victims are. You don't know if they were homeless people. You don't know if it was a woman who broke into your mini mart because she was running away from her husband who was beating her. So, but the moral of the story is, don't go in And again, we talked about training. He did have some training, I'm sure, but don't go in unless you're absolutely certain, again, as Bob points out, as to the number of suspects and a possible, third suspect in the getaway vehicle?
Yep.
So that's what you have to look at as far as a business owner. Get some training, review videos online, read up, go to the gun shows. If they have our counterparts of the gun shows in your jurisdiction, go talk to these lawyers, go talk to the experts, or call us and we'll refer you to these attorneys in your particular area.
Yeah, that's very good advice. Don and I, over the years, mostly Don, have contacted, I couldn't tell you how many lawyers, and frequently I end up calling lawyers in the state where this happened to ask how this could happen and whether the law is this way and that way. And we have, between us, got lawyers in every state and Providence and Canada and everything else that you could imagine to refer you to. I don't know how, we've got a case working here in Nevada right now that is caused by a guy asking his sister's husband or ex-husband or something, who's a lawyer, what to do when something happened, and the lawyer didn't know anything about gun laws and told him, yeah, do this, and it was wrong. And this guy's over in federal court. We're going to get into that case later on in about another week and a half. But the lawyers are specialists like doctors. You know, if your general lawyer is any good, he'll refer you to a criminal defense lawyer that knows about that area of the law that you're talking about. Do that. A word from a few of our sponsors now. We have some slides that come up here to tell you who's our friend and where you should go use their services. This first slide is Freestyle Martial Arts. They're at Jones and Russell Road, 702-521-9009. Great place. The guy is about the toughest individual I've ever met and teaches martial arts to a lot of UFC fighters. He's got an amazing reputation. I would strongly recommend his studio if you want to learn self-defense. They do private classes, and they do conditioning classes and so forth also, but great guy. I think Don just talked to him a little bit ago.
Yes, I did,
today.
to make an appointment.
And Don's already a lawyer and has 18 guns, and now he's going to become a martial arts expert, and what am I going to do then? I'm too old for this. CCS Gunsmithing is on Rainbow, right off of Sahara. It is run by the guy who runs all the NRA projects here, Chris Eifelt, great guy, fine gunsmithing work. Give him a call at 702-365-1732. And we have my friend Jerry Creed. Jerry Creed is a estate planning lawyer. He also does Class 3 trusts and general gun trusts, particularly if you're now trying to pass guns on to your heirs, especially when the heir isn't known yet, children of this marriage to be named later when they're born, that sort of thing. These really get into the woods to make them legal. Call Jerry if you've got, especially Class 3s, but if you've got a lot of regular guns, they're getting tied up all the time in just ridiculous states. And you're dead, you can't do anything about it. He's at 702-806-777. Give him a call, set up an appointment. Jerry Creed, C-R-E-E-D, attorney at law. Don Green, lawyer to the stars, soon to be a martial arts expert also, as I just found out. And this is the gun lawyer you call when you need a question. We just talked about this, don't call your general lawyer. It takes somebody who works in this area of the law. Don Green is top of the heap. You can reach him in Las Vegas at his cell phone, 702-409-8239. 702-409-8239. And CCW Maggie, we talked about her a little earlier too. The best firearms instructor probably I've met. She is terrific. Over the years, I have trained with her, and I am just amazing with her. Her and her husband, who's pretty good too. He's a little short, but other than that, he's all right. CCW Maggie. Just check out the internet for CCW Maggie. You will find everything you need to know about firearms training. And my favorite Mexican watering hole, Ricardo's. They're at Flamingo and Jones. The guy that owns it is a very conservative guy and helps with conservative causes. And even if you're a liberal, you should go there. He's got great food. Flamingo and Decatur, I'm sorry. You can reach them at 702-227-9100. 702-227-9100. Make a reservation for your next party or seminar. He's got all these rooms set up for that and video stuff and everything for you. Go there. Now, we are back and we are good. We're on time and everything. This is from NBC TV in Boston. A lady named Catherine Underwood and a fellow named Mike Piscaro reported on July 25th in New Hampshire. A homeowner was pulling into his driveway and on May Street with his 2-year-old and his 5-year-old sons in the car. He noticed a stranger standing on his porch. This was broad daylight on a Wednesday afternoon. The homeowner commented, I don't know who he is. I don't know his intentions. I don't know why he was there. The homeowner realized that the man was trying to break into his home. He pulled his gun and held the attempted burglar at gunpoint. His 2 young sons, sitting a few feet away in the car, witnessed the entire scene. The 5-year-old son explained the guy put up his hands and walked backwards. Rochester police say the 37-year-old subject surrendered and he was waiting for officers when they arrived at the home. The father and his fiancée wish this never happened, of course, in the first place, but they are hoping it has taught their little one a valuable lesson. The father added, "It felt wonderful to protect my family." The 5-year-old asked if I shot him. This is the father talking. The 5-year-old asked me if I shot him, and I said, "No, buddy, I had no reason to kill him. I don't carry a gun to kill people. I carry a gun to neutralize threatening situations." It is amazing, a 5-year-old you could talk to like that and they understand. They understand a lot more than you think if you talk to them like grown-ups. Mm-hmm. The 37-year-old perp faces misdemeanor charges of attempted theft, possession of burglary tools. He's also accused of loitering and prowling, which is a separate crime there. The 37-year-old burglar was released on personal recognizance and is due back in court on September 19th. The fiancé said it's unsettling that the would-be thief was released from jail, but the father is confident he won't be returning to the neighborhood. The father says he carries his firearm all the time, and while he's never had to use it before, he says this is exactly why he carries it. There's a perfect situation. Statistics say that most burglars run or surrender when challenged by an armed victim. That percentage tends to run above 95%. The other 5% are the reason you need your firearm and several spare magazines. Hardened criminals try to eliminate witnesses for petty stuff, and they try and kill you anyway because they're going to do 30 days in jail. Legal morons, and that in the legal sense, people that are too stupid to realize what they're doing or what the consequences are. I'm not calling them a moron. I mean by that a legal moron, somebody who doesn't have the IQ to reason this out. And psychopaths and sociopaths who, of course, kill for no reason at all. A lot of territory here, Don. We've got some other possibilities, too.
That is correct. The wife is absolutely correct. When the perpetrator was released on his own recognizance, will he go back to their house? Is he facing a habitual criminal enhancement? Is he facing other charges? Is he on probation right now? Is he on parole? Was he on some kind of a stay out of trouble order? And now these people are going to put him in jail? So what a better way than to get rid of your witnesses and then you don't have any witnesses? So the wife's comment that is somewhat unsettling that the would-be thief is released from jail without having to post bail, that is a very a concern. Now, in our particular jurisdiction, they are releasing a number of people on their own recognizance on some drug offenses and non-violent crimes, but that's a political decision, and that's probably a practical decision. But for these people, they should be concerned. The father's comments, you know, he's not really worried about it, and he uses it for protection, and he didn't shoot. Well, that's a good point. You don't have to shoot the perpetrator. If he would have shot him, California, I mean, different story. Nevada, you can't take a gun to a gunfight. But apparently, in where this happened in New Hampshire, then it's quite possible that there may be some kind of law which protects him if there was a shooting. I'm not sure if, I know Vermont is a permitless carry state. I'm not sure about New Hampshire. But the thing is that the husband did have the presence of mind not to shoot. So there was preparation and training. But the thing is that from a legal perspective, could he have been charged? I would say no. It's his home. And then, of course, we have a situation where we don't know. Did we know what time this was? We don't. It didn't say. Excuse me. Wednesday, broad daylight, Wednesday afternoon. Daylight. So these people don't care. These perpetrators do not care when they're gonna hit your house. The guy in New Mexico is 5:30 in the morning. The real estate agent in your first example is around 11:30. On whatever time whatever day of the week that she did her open house. So they don't care. So the thing is that, as we pointed out at the beginning, all of these examples show that there's preparation, and that's what's important here from the perspective of the defense attorney. Was my client prepared? Did he do everything, or did she do everything they were supposed to do? Because, again, if this was California, he may have been charged.
Yeah. It's, as we said at the outset of the show, the laws vary state to state, and they change dramatically. We have a minute to explain that a little bit. We have laws. You read the Nevada revised statute, and it says you can't do this, and if you do that, this is the punishment, and so forth and so on. Every one of those statutes has been twisted and bent by court decisions, what we in the trade call case law.
Yes.
We find a similar case, and they let that guy go, so attorneys use that to argue, well, there's precedent, because in a similar case, that's what attorneys argue. Back and forth is case law. And that's all the arguments in court, is all the bends and twists. If the law was always applied exactly as it says, still 80% of the cases fall in the gray area. He didn't exactly do what the statute said he has to do, but he really tried, or, whatever. It varies. That's why attorneys exist. Call a lawyer before you start talking to people about what happened at your incident. We are all out of time now. You can check out our recent shows at firedupwithboberwin.com. It contains our recent shows. There's got 40 of them up there now. It's the commercials that keep us on the air. It's not really the commercials so much. I need to reword that. We have friends that buy our products and donate things, and capitalism wins every time. So the slides we use to talk about our friends, please patronize their business. Mention Fired Up with Bob when you saw it, and I would appreciate that. We'll be back. We've also got a website up that says you can shop online. We sell my books I've written. I've got 3 of them out now. I'm promised everybody I'll have another one done in 6 weeks, and that was about 3 years ago. I started working on it, but it's on my computer, sort of. FiredUpWithBobIrwinStore.com is where you find that. It's on the bottom of your screen there briefly. So we'll be back next Thursday on our website and on YouTube and on the American Guns and Glory Network. When you see our show, please hit subscribe on your computer or phone, and you'll get a new show every Thursday evening around 5 o'clock, and you'll be kept up to date without even thinking about it. Don, thank you for being here one more time, and we wish you all a great week. We'll be back. Thank you.